And if we could just do a quick check on the English for me. Yeah, because
Do you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay,
Yes,
that's
thank
great.
you.
You can start.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start. Very nice to meet you, Dr. Özdemir, and please correct my pronunciation. You're welcome to do that. You're in a very esteemed position with the Turkish government, and I know that you are working on a book now on Turkey's soft power. And since I used to live in Los Angeles, and people always wanted to make movies, they had a film pitch. And if you saw somebody, a famous director, you might get 90 seconds to make your pitch. What is your pitch to the world about Turkey? What does the world not know that it needs to know? That's my first question.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you so much. Hepinize hoş geldiniz. Çok teşekkür ediyoruz.
Thank you very much. I would like to say a big welcome to all the participants. I'm grateful that you are here to listen to me. Today, we will be talking about the soft power of Turkey and our position about the soft power in the world. And as our moderator mentioned, I have been working on a book that I'm about to finish. It's about the soft power solutions in Turkey, but it's not limited to the Turkish Republic. I'm, well, let's say, tackling with the soft power of Turkey that is inherited from the Ottoman Empire as well. And if I am to answer the question, I can tell you that after 2002, Turkey has attributed great importance to its soft power and drew a framework about the soft power. Our esteemed president is really thinking that it's really important for Turkey and also for the region that surrounds Turkey, the countries that surround Turkey. And we are, of course, perceiving the soft power with different concepts. And one of these concepts is calm diplomacy, and it is about two things. It has an important role in international relationships, but also in strategic works as well. So these are kind of bridges between between these two between soft power and strategy. Calm diplomacy conceptualization in Turkey started after 2002, and also it has become a part of many international studies, and policymakers have settled it in a fundamental framework. If I am to give tangible power about calm diplomacy, I can tell you that it is about narration of policies in a national and international arena. And it does not mean to create policies, but it's about the techniques that helps you narrate your policies. Therefore, it really helps the conceptualization of strategic planning and so on. It also has some elements from communication technologies, and it touches upon these communication techniques and technologies. It is an important indicator in the foreign policies of countries and their implementation in practice. It helps us to compare the policies, etc. With this aspect, if we go back to our concepts, after 2002, diplomacy applications or implementations in Turkey diversified, and they were opened to discussion and were surrounded with different policies, I can tell you. Therefore, in the point that we arrived in about 22 years, Turkey has become a state that uses diplomacy in a great way and leading the world in these terms. As our esteemed president underlined yesterday, Turkey is Turkey has a commission. We have a communication office under the presidency, and we have communication ambassadors, communication officers, and representatives of the Anadolu Ajansı, it's the agency, it's a news agency in Turkey that collects news, and our friends are working about diplomacy non-stop. So last thing that I can tell you about this question is that diplomacy activities that we have can be demonstrated by taking a look at the foreign policies that our esteemed Prime Minister has adopted in the world after the presidential system was initiated in Turkey. So we are talking about our policies in the world as much as we can. Of course, it has many other dimensions. We can go into detail about that, but I think you have some other questions for me as well. I'm waiting for
I
them.
have a lot of questions, but we have something in common. We both have a PhD in international relations. And I went into that field because I was committed to peacemaking, mediation, conflict resolution, and I wonder if you share those values. I would add that listening to President Erdogan yesterday, he emphasized mediation. He emphasized Turkey's role in the world, in the region, but also internationally. And that, from my outsider eyes, is what I'm picking up on, a growing strength for Turkey, where East meets West, to play this mediation role. So I feel kinship with you that we both come from the international relations background. So if you could talk about that.
Teşekkür ederim.
Thank you very much. Well, of course, we have to, tackle this issue in a much wider, concept or scope. Under the leadership of our president, Turkey's foreign policies have changed a lot. We did have some difficulties, some challenges, and some opportunities. The challenges we have overcome thanks to strong leadership of our president, and in that aspect, Turkey has, had an important role in the resolution of regional conflicts, and Turkey has become an important international actor. This is all due to the vision of the leadership of our president, and we can, I think, tackle with our processes of making foreign policies, and on the scope of international relationships in an academic manner, we can definitely tell you that our president is both a humanist and also a realist. Therefore, as our Prime Minister underlined yesterday, we did have a strong stance in the world, and we are always realist in our foreign policies as well, because we have to prioritize the interest of the Turkish Republic, and we have to demonstrate that in all our negotiations in international arena. Our Prime Minister is quite open and clear about that. We always protect Turkey's interests in international negotiations, international environments. Therefore, I personally believe that our Prime Minister is interpreting his philosophy of realism, and he is implementing this realism in the policies within our region. We can open many discussions about that. We are talking about new media, the digital transformation, for example, misinformations, and the dirt of information, as we call it, and our communication office under the presidency is tackling with many challenges, etc. So we have to balance all of these disadvantages, and we have to, turn them to our favor through our policies. And this is what we are trying to do. I would like to say a few things about that as an example, especially in foreign policies and foreign policy making, as well known, digital transformation, the increase of use of social media, the pace of communication increasing, etc. VR, AR, etc. The databases, disinformation and misinformation, I would say, and infodemia, etc. There are lots of concepts, and our communication office, Fahrettin Altun, the head of Presidential Communication Office, has put forth a very decisive stance on that, and we are integrating our policies to combat against these challenges that we are facing. Therefore, all these public and non-public actors are included in this process. Therefore, our communication office and the policies of our esteemed president have an important role in that. We have to tackle with misinformation and disinformation all the time, and I would like to express my gratitude to Mr. Fahrettin Altun for his non-stop and continuous efforts to prevent the false news and fake news, etc., the news that are created in order to cause panic, etc. So we are supporting this policy in strategic perspective as well. If you take a look at the bigger picture, we can express our foreign policies in different concepts as well. But I would like to express our foreign policy as a constant pursuit for truth and realism and humanism. This is what I would like to say.
Thank you. And I would also like to talk about one of the strengths of Turkey is in broadcasting, in film, in television. You're telling your narrative, your story to the world is getting out to global publics of different faiths, of different beliefs. And I've worked with TRT World for many years. And for those who are not always involved with the international media, I tell my friends and associates all the time how professional, how well prepared the staff are, and this is something that really is a jewel for a country, because many countries go into international broadcasting, but this really is truly valued. And have you all thought about expanding that? So I think in the communications realm, Turkey is on an upward trajectory.
Well, yes, the media ecosystem, as we call it in Turkey, has a strong know-how. And within this framework, again, I will talk about our communication office and its affiliated institutions like Anadolu Ajansı, the Sanatolan Agency, and our TV channels, etc., are quite influential in the broadcasting in Turkey, and we believe in the world as well. And Anatolian Agency has an internationally recognized news agency, and we are always talking about we are always talking about some international news agencies taking news from Anatolian agency, etc. It's very important for us, and Turkey has been strongly dependent on TRT, etc. And TRT is not only a broadcaster, but it has many agencies as well. It is a school in communication too, and it has its staffs in many different areas, and communication is a very open table for TRT. When we evaluated in all the aspects in broadcasting, TRT and its TRT has two sides, both the content management and the news delivery. TRT has a lot of content content
yandan da
about
habercilik yapan bir kanal.
actuality,
Dolayısıyla TRT kendi
the
içerisinde
daily
aslında
agenda, the
Türkiye'deki
entertainment,
kanallardan daha
etc.
çok uluslararası
And
çapta bir
TRT also
markalaşma
has some
oturmuş.
serious
Kendisi
broadcasts
ispat
about
etmiş.
politics,
Farklı
etc.
dillerde
Turkey has,
yayınlar yapan, bunların
TRT
içerisinde
has
Fransızca,
proven
Almanca,
itself
Arapça
in
gibi çok
international
ciddi
arena as
anlamda
well. It has
yayınlar
broadcasts
yapabilen
in different
kapasiteye sahip bir
languages
kanal.
like
Bu yönüyle
French and
hem
German,
bu
Arabic,
habercilik ve
etc. It
content
has a high
arasındaki
capacity
aslında
and
yarışta önemli bir
in
yer tutan
the
bir kanal.
pace, in the race, I'm
Tabii
sorry,
bu
in the
boyutuyla
race
tekrar
between the content
sizin de
creation and
bahsettiğiniz önemli
news
noktalardan birisi
creation,
Türkiye'nin
news
dizi film
broadcasting.
sektöründeki
Turkey
ciddi
has an
anlamda
important role, and as you have
yaptığı
mentioned,
atılım.
Turkey
Hem bu
is
anlamda tabii
leaping
kendi
forward
içerisinde
in
Türkiye'deki prodüksiyon
cinema
maliyetlerinin
industry,
düşük
in
olması.
TV
Çünkü bu
shows
anlamda Türkiye
industry
çok ciddi
as
bir
well.
know-how ve bir
Turkey
pazar
has
payı var
a
ve
serious
Türkiye bu
know-how
anlamda
and a
eğilmeyi
great
çok
market
başka bir
share
noktaya
about that
koydu.
in the world. And
Aslında 90'larda bakıldığı zaman
when
Güney Amerika'daki
when we
bir
take a look
know-how ve
at how
ciddi
things
düşük prodüksiyon
were in
maliyetleri ve çok fazla
90s,
derecedeki
the
yapım
know-how
akışına
and
Türkiye kendisi
the
ciddi bir medya stratejisiyle
the cost of
özellikle
production
2000'lerden
in the
sonra
world
yavaş yavaş
did not
Türkiye'ye
exist
getirdi
in Turkey,
ve
but
aslında
after
son dönemlerde
2000s,
tamamen
Turkey
Türkiye
has
merkezli oldu. Bu
received
çok
that
kritik
know-how
bir
in and
eksen.
became a
Bu
center
yönüyle
for
hem uluslararası çapta
broadcasting
kalitede
and
filmler ve
creating
diziler, yapımlar
films and
çıkartabilirken
TV
hem de
series
aynı
and shows
zamanda
that
burayı bir
has an
cazibe merkezi haline
international
getirdi. Sadece bu
high
boyutun
international
yapım
recognized high
ayağı da yok.
quality, and Turkey has
İçerik yani
become a
çıkmış
hub,
film
a
ayağı da yok.
center
Bunun
for
içerisinde
that.
platolar var,
And
kurulmuş
it's not
merkezler
only
var.
about the
Uluslararası
film
oyuncuların
productions,
buradaki
etc.
etkileşimi
We
var.
have
Uluslararası yapımcıların çağrımı
interactions
var.
with international
Birçok film
actors and
festivalinde alınan
actresses. We
ödüller de
have
bunların en
film
güzel
festivals and
göstergesidir.
the awards that we are
Her sene
receiving, that our films
aşağı
and TV
yukarı
series are
kanalların
receiving in the
TRT
international
çok ciddi
area.
anlamda kanalların
And
ödüller alır.
TRT is
Bakıldığı zaman
receiving a
sırf
lot
geçen
of
sene
awards
mesela rakam
in
söylemiş olalım,
many
116 tane almış
festivals.
olduğu ödül vardı
And
uluslararası
just
film
last year, Turkey
festivallerinde,
has
belgesellerde,
received
içeriklerde habercilik
160 in
kategorileri
different
dahil olmak
awards
üzere.
with its
Dolayısıyla
documentaries,
aslında
with its films, with its
hem
TV shows,
Türkiye'nin
with
bu
its news
az önce
programs as well.
bahsettiğim
And
içerik yönetim stratejileri önemli
this
bir yer tutarken
content
aynı
management
zamanda habercilik
strategies hold an
faaliyetleri de
important role for
birbirinin
TRT,
benzeyen
and
TRT'yi
the
önemli bir
news
noktaya taşımakta.
broadcast
Yine bu iki
capacity of
kuruluşun
TRT is
haricinde
also
bizim yerel
carrying
medya,
TRT
iletişim
to an
ve
important
benzeri perspektiflerle
position
ilgilenen
in the
Basın
world.
ilan kurumumuz da
We
aslında
also
çok Türkiye
have
içinde domestik gibi
a
gözükse de
press,
etkileyen bir kuruluş gibi gözükse de
communication
uluslararası çapta önemli bir
institution,
yer tutuyor.
which
Çünkü
also
basın
holds an
ilan
important
kurumunun
role in the
uygulamaları
international
özellikle
area,
Türk
and
dünyasındaki
and
devletlerin örnek aldığı
the
modeller
institution's
haline
application
gelmiş.
has
Çünkü
become a
yerel medyayın
model for
desteklenmesi,
some other
geliştirilmesi çerçevesinde
similar
hem yeni
institutions
teknolojileri
in the
yakalayan
world.
hem de kendi
We
içerisinde
are
çok derinliğe
catching
sahip
newest
bir
technologies. We are
kuruluşumuz basın
innovative,
ilan
and
kurumunda.
we
Yerel
have a
medyanın
profound
ayakta
knowledge
kalmasını
in
sağlamak,
our
dijital medyanın ayakta
country,
kalmasını sağlamak üzerine de
and we are working
adımları var.
constantly
Bunu daha
for
derinlemesine
the
şöyle
existence and
biliyorsunuz eskiden
diversifying
gazeteler
digital
vesaire çok
media,
fazla
social
alınan,
media,
okunan,
etc.
temel
In the past,
çerçevelere
of
sahipti
course,
ama
the
şu anda
technologies are changing,
internet
and
site
the
haberciliği üzerinden
newspapers, the
daha
printed
hızlı bir şekilde habere
media
ulaşma
is
durumu var.
not really
Basın ilan
popular
kurulu tam bu
anymore.
noktada
People
internet
are looking
haberciliği,
for
web
faster
siteleri,
access to
dijital
news,
alanlar gibi
etc.
birçok noktada
Therefore, we are also
derinlik
investing
sahibi
in
ve
websites
know-how
and
sahibi bir
digital,
kuruluşumuz. Dolayısıyla
news,
aslında bu
etc. And
üçlü
we
yapı, Anadolu
transferred
Ajansı,
our
TRT
know-how
ve
to
Basın
those
İlan
areas
Kurumu'nu
too.
beraber
It's
düşündüğümüzde
very
iletişim
important. And
başkanlığının
when we
perspektifi
think,
ve yönlendirmesiyle
TRT and the Directorate of
ortaya
Communications,
çıkmış bir pratik politika
with
bütününden
and
bahsetmek
thanks
mümkün.
to the vision of
Tüm bu sorduğu
Mr.
soruya ilişkin
Fahrettin
olarak.
Altun, we can definitely talk
I'm
about Turkey's
wondering
strength.
if there are any students in the audience. If you're here, if you can raise your hands. Because I know on Saturday I saw a lot of students coming in. Maybe our session doesn't have too many. Oh, I see a hand. I see a few hands. That's great. I'm going to put my teacher cap on for a second. If you are interested in public diplomacy and international communications, there are two very understudied areas in public diplomacy, and they are international broadcasting, which again has its greatest reach potential. The second is international exchanges. So student to student, professor to professor, not just programs like Fulbright, but how internationalized your universities are. That's a very understudied topic. It used to be very heavily covered, but there are a lot of students now going all over the world. So that was just to give you some scholarly ideas. But within Turkey, if I might, I live part-time in Tokyo, Japan. I was so impressed that you had a memorandum of understanding with the Japanese university in science and technology. And I saw that as a real win-win. So are you making more of these international ties beyond your office, but in general in Turkey, since you're really the expert, this is only my second time in Turkey. So if you could just address that, the international education environment.
Tabii bütün kamu kurum kuruluşlarının çeşitli noktalarda yaptığı bu tarz anlaşmalar da var.
Well, of course, we have agreements and contracts with our training institutions and universities and technology companies, etc. We also, are just doing the transfer for know-how between universities and in international areas as well. There are lots of initiatives about that. As the Directorate of Communications, we are cooperating with many countries in terms of communication, in terms of transferring the know-how, etc. With our media ecosystem coming together with the media ecosystems of other countries, and creating a harmony out of that is very valuable for us. We believe that communication is very important, and it should be profound. And not only the Directorate of Communications, but also the TRT and other broadcasting agencies have many memorandums and agreements with Asia Pacific broadcasters and many news agencies, many news providers, etc. We have a lot of common ground that we meet and sign contracts and exchange information, etc. In different areas like technology, like education and other areas, the cooperation is provided. And this kind of agreements, this kind of cooperations are beneficial in many ways because first of all they increase interaction. Our bureaucrat colleagues and they have the chance to get to know the bureaucrats, their counterparts in other countries, and this creates some serious advantages and benefits, and we see our weaknesses and we have to fix them. But I would specifically like to underline that the contracts, the agreements in communication area are very critical because in combat with misinformation, create a check and balance mechanism allowing us to control and create a balance in our activities as well. Because thanks to the contracts that we sign with a country X, any country, we are able to contact them if there's some fake news that is disseminated in that country. We are able to contact them and prevent that fake information from disseminating. Therefore, we have bulletins and we have some press releases that we share with our affiliates and with our partners. And our main motivation is to prevent fake news if there is any. And we understand that the dissemination of fake news create a disharmony and a disruption in the whole media ecosystem. This is what we are combating with. This is very important, and it provides us a strategic profoundness. It's very important, and we have to create an arbitration for about misinformation in the global arena. Therefore, in the institution of higher education, in universities, in many countries, many companies in Turkey have international agreements, student exchange programs, and student mobilities. In many different axes, like some scholarships, etc. And this at some point touches upon public diplomacy, and it influences that because cultural interactions and promoting the culture in international arena, etc. They all have a role in that too. We have a citizen diplomat project under the area of public diplomacy. We believe that when Turkish citizens go out of Turkey to travel to get their education in international arena, become an ambassadors of Turkish culture as well, and we attribute importance to that too. And also we consider the tourists coming to Turkey from abroad also are ambassadors of their culture, and we have an interaction project on a mutual basis, the Turkish citizens and the foreign citizens coming to Turkey, etc. So let's talk.
You got ahead of me because I was going to ask you about these tourists and how they really become the front line ambassadors, when they return to their home countries, they talk about their visit. And of course, this is very luxurious here in Antalya. I had no idea, though. I just arrived here 2 days ago. You mentioned disinformation, misinformation, fake news. We often use these words interchangeably, but I want you all to think about the difference. Disinformation is often malicious. It's intentionally malicious. It's like mischief or trolling, somebody who's looking for trouble or to upset, to cause chaos. So of course we need to combat that. Misinformation, I think of, oh, I was misinformed. So sometimes you just don't know, you don't have the right source, and you can go on the internet and come across bad sources. So in the United States, where I'm from, we have our share of all three, including fake news, whom we associate often with a presidential candidate in this election. And does one have the right to be misinformed? I mean, you know, can you, because if you feel very strongly about what you believe, you may not be as persuaded by the truth. And so that's a challenge, isn't it, worldwide?
Doğru, çok haklısınız. Çünkü
Yes,
zaten
yes,
başta
you're
az
right,
önce
because
sorular içerisinde konuştuğumuz
so
noktalardan birisi,
as we spoke earlier,
iletişim başkanlığının,
and so the communication
başkanlığının
presidency,
kullandığı
President Fahrettin Bey,
çok üzerine basa basa
and
dikkat
puts
ifade
emphasis on the
etmesi, ama
fact that
hakikat
I'd like to
mücadelesi
repeat
ve
it.
hakikatin
So
savunusu.
struggling for
Dolayısıyla,
the reality
tam anlamıyla
and for
temel
facts.
çerçevede
So within
gerçeği
the main
savunmak,
framework,
günümüz
so
iletişim
defending or
teknolojilerinin getirdiği
advocating the
bazı
right
dezavantajlar
thing,
nedeniyle
due
daha
to
da
certain
zorlaşıyor.
disadvantages has become
Tabii burada
even more
başta bahsettiğimiz
difficult.
bu kavram
And
setlerinin birbiri
so
arasındaki
there are some differences between these
farklı anlaşımları,
concepts,
farklı
and also
yorumlamaların
there are
sebebi,
some
iletişim bununla ilgili
different
ciddi
interpretations
tartışmalar
as
var.
well.
Stratejik iletişim
And for example, when it comes to strategic communication, so we are talking about fake news, disinformation, and also we are talking about differences between two, and also the difference between misinformation and the others. And if we think about this as a spectrum, if we have the reality in the middle or the fact in the middle, as we get further than the fact, so it could be just the opposite of the reality, or we can call it a fake news. It can be close to the reality, but it could be, for example, disinformation, but it still contains some information, but doesn't contain the reality or the facts. And so, but because it doesn't contain the reality, it still has a place in this spectrum as well. And also, yeah, so these are interpreted differently. And also, if the reality in the middle again, for example, if excessive details are given about a fact, for example, then this causes infamy. And also, for example, we talk about this all the time in the academy, and also, so our professors talk about this very often. So when writing a dissertation, for example, using an excessive number of sources means disharmony about this, and also. And then it is still within the spectrum of reality, but as our information has irregularity, and it becomes infamy because it provides excessive information. And so we can, I think, explain your question based on this spectrum. And also the conceptualization also turns into mother languages, mother tongue as well. And also we really ponder on this with our president as well. And also conceptualizations in different languages are really different, and also the same goes for the Turkish language as well. We are trying to create a common denominator between these two, and because defending or advocating the reality is only possible through a discourse, and also sets of concepts should be created. And so I'm talking about advocating the reality or the facts. So positivism in the empiric frameworks, so outside that dimension, and we are trying to establish a harmony or a unity of discourse. When I was writing my dissertation, and so I worked grant strategy, and also so it was discussing about Obama's grant strategy, and also so in these discussions, so there is a concept of offshore balance, and also offshore balance is used, and also so when translating this into Turkish, so there is serious discussions about how we can, for example, translate it into Turkish, or how we translate or localize it in the Turkish language. So this creates a common denominator, and in line with this point, so the presidency of communication created a public discourse dictionary, and also we came up with a guideline to also support the academic world as well. And I believe that this is also helping our academics as well, and also it is also used by all the public bodies as well, so as a manual. So I'd like to take this opportunity to
I know
emphasize this
that
as well.
we could keep talking for hours. That's clear, but I'm getting to wrap it up. I have one last question. I really see myself as a global citizen, and I travel to countries. I want to be better informed. I want to learn and grow from that. And what should I carry as I go to other places? Give me a concept, or maybe challenge, misunderstanding. What can I let people know to be more accurate about why Turkey is so special?
Tabii bizim bu tartışmayı çok kendi aramızda da yapıyoruz.
So yeah, we have this discussion among ourselves as well. So we talk about how we can have a better narrative about ourselves. So we are looking for ways of, for example, introducing ourselves without using sets of concepts. So I can say many. So Turkey has a very good location. It's a very important actor in international relations, and also. So we have a history of hundreds of years, and also it's an axis of foreign policy dating back to hundreds of years ago. But from today, in a regional point of view, Turkey is like a safe harbor and safe haven, and also so some countries take shelter in Turkey, and Turkey is the first country that they refer to when it comes to security, for diplomacy, or when they face economic difficulties as well. And I think this is a result of the leadership of our president as well. So our president never turned people back or down whenever people knocked on our door. So he tried to help everyone when people were in need, and I believe that our president played a very important role, and his motivation is the main reason for the special place or position Turkey has acquired or gained over the recent years. Turkey has been a mediator, and also in all the troubles, and also when it comes to humanitarian aid, Turkey has always been on the forefront, and also so there were talks yesterday, and also during the speech of our president yesterday, and both in the Ukrainian and also Russian war, and also and over the recent times, and so we see the same thing in the Gaza violence as well, because there's a human crisis here, or humanitarian crisis. There's violence that we are talking about, the death of children, and also people being forcefully displaced. Turkey was the first country to say stop to all this violence, and so Turkey has diplomatic initiatives in the international arena, And in many points, our president has made efforts, and also he continues to do so, and also he's doing his best to build or to bring peace to Gaza, in G20, in the NATO, and also in the UN. Also, our president has always been loud to stop the violence that's happening in Gaza, and also he says that Turkey always prepared and also ready to make whatever it takes to stop this violence. And so yesterday we listened to our president together. But I think the most important point, or what makes Turkey so special, is the heartfelt efforts of our president, and also the unity of the policies which is a product of his efforts. And whenever there's a climate or when there's a tension regionally or globally, Turkey is the first country that people knock the door off, and also people expect Turkey to act as a guarantor in many places. Turkey assumes very important roles in the field and also around the desks as well, and also from NATO to the Far East. And Turkey is taking certain positions strategically as well. So I believe that these are the reasons, these are the things what makes Turkey this special. And I believe that this very heartfelt or very cordial effort of our president.
Thank you very much, Dr. Özdemir. And thank you. You are reading my mind, because I just wanted to tell everyone how moved I was by the Gaza exhibit. I plan to go back and see it as part of the Antalya Diplomacy Forum, in addition to the giant volume by the Ombudsman Office on Gaza. That's a great contribution to the world. I thank you that it was in English for me, and I will plan to refer to it in my scholarship and research. It gives balance to the humanity, the collective humanity. We know we can do better, and I thank you so much for what Turkey is doing on behalf of Gaza.
Thank you very much for your contribution. I'd like to make a little addition about Gaza. So the name of the exhibition is child artists from Gaza. So we have the same exhibition in the Taksim Square in Istanbul. We want the international attendees to see the same thing, and so we rebuilt it here so that you could see as well. And if you haven't seen it, I strongly recommend that you see it. For many, in Gaza there have been wars lasting for years. We're not only talking about the most recent one. So it is about the experience of children from the eyes of children. Some people were martyred, and also some people got injured, and also people lost their lives for their motherland, and also these are some of the pictures or photographs provided to Turkey by the families of those children. And also we can see, for example, a picture or a painting made by a 6 or 7-year-old girl, and we were able to integrate this exhibition with the contribution of many institutions. And also we are trying to make sure that it reaches to all the participants. And if you have time, and I would be more than glad if you could also visit that exhibition as well. We have a trilingual book also explaining the explanation as well. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you so much again for everybody attending, and really appreciate your time. Thank you very much.